How big is your retirement shortfall? When it comes to retirement readiness, many retirees are facing a crisis of exhausting their retirement funds during retirement. I'm sure you'll agree, planning for your retirement is more complicated today than ever. As a result, most Americans find themselves behind the retirement planning 8 ball. Over the next few minutes, we'll share with you the 10 biggest issues keeping them up at night and causing the greatest concern. These issues must be addressed, but most readily admit they're just not equipped to arrive at these answers on their own. This presentation is for you, whether you're retired or very close to it, whether you've accumulated a couple 100,000 or several million, and regardless of what you envision your retirement to be. We've made this presentation simple, with easy-to-understand terms, void of the typical Wall Street jargon. This is our mission. It's simple, concise, and clear, and it's just a few words. To help people like you and your family to plan, implement, and manage every phase of your pre- and post-retirement life, helping to ensure your golden years are just that, truly golden. At the conclusion, we'd like to invite you to receive a no-cost, no-obligation retirement income analysis created specifically for you. It's how we add significant value to the clients we serve, and it gives you confidence about your retirement readiness like never before. If we take a closer look, 78 million baby boomers are reaching retirement age at the rate of 10,000 a day for the next 18 years. 95% of them haven't saved enough during their 40 years of work to fund a 20 to 30-year retirement. 33% have saved nothing at all. So how will you know if you've saved enough or if you have a retirement shortfall? Baby boomers will be the first generation since the 1930s that will be worse off in their older years than their parents. Sadly, many people spend more time planning a 2-week vacation than they do a 30-year retirement. And for those thinking Social Security will take care of you, think again. The average benefit is just $1,234 a month, which puts you just above the poverty threshold. Most haven't planned ahead and they're ill-prepared. There's a real disconnect between what retirees should have set aside as they enter retirement and what they have set aside. Based on the retirement you've dreamed about, how will you know if you've set aside enough to realize those dreams? We can help. But remember, this is not your parents' retirement, where your employer held a going-away party, presented you with a gold watch, and a nice pension with a guaranteed paycheck for the rest of your life. It's a much different retirement today, where 74% expect to continue working once they're retired, and 40% plan to work until they drop. On the savings front, 46% of all workers have less than $10,000 saved for retirement. 29% have less than $1,000. And we're in debt. 56% had outstanding debt when they retired. Bankruptcies among those 65 through 74 increased 178%, while the most startling rise occurred among those 75 to 84, soaring 433%. The number one reason cited, spiraling out-of-control healthcare costs. No wonder 88% of all Americans are worried about maintaining a comfortable standard of living in retirement. Will your retirement planning keep you from becoming one of those statistics? Food for thought. Retirees spend 40 years in the accumulation phase building their nest egg, but for most, that nest egg clearly isn't big enough. And as you transition from the accumulation phase to the spending phase of your retirement, there are a number of issues that must be addressed. Issues such as longevity. Have you ever wondered how longevity affects funding your retirement that could well last 30 years or longer? Do you realize you'll be planning for the longest retirement anyone's ever had to plan for? Here's why. In 1900, life expectancy was just 47. By 1930, 59. 1960, 69. Then 76. Today it's 78. And by 2040, it's expected to be 84. I'll bet you also didn't know that reaching age 65 in good health means you've got a 50% chance of living to 85 and 88, and a 25% chance of living to 92 or 94. There's a very real possibility that you may need 30 or more years of retirement income. With your current retirement plan, the question becomes this: will you outlive your money, or will your money outlive you? If you're like most Americans, one of your greatest concerns is health care. Are you concerned about the rising cost of health care and how that could impact your retirement planning? Nearly 3 in 4 cite this among their top retirement fears. Nearly half of high net worth individuals, the word they used was terrified. Yet 38% have never even discussed this with their financial advisor. Have you? Few issues generate higher anxiety for retirees today. More than half say it's very to extremely important they get educated on how rising health care costs could affect planning for their retirement. Nearly 9 out of 10 are flying blind when it comes to understanding what could be, for many, one of their largest costs in retirement. Don't you believe it's prudent, even essential, to have a meaningful discussion now about what rising health care costs could do to your retirement planning? How about your nest egg? Have you ever considered how big of a nest egg you need to retire comfortably? Many nest eggs are still recovering from the financial crisis. Just 14% are very confident they'll have enough money to live comfortably in retirement. More than 56% haven't even tried to calculate how much they'll need. So how do you know if you're saving enough? As a general rule of thumb, you'll need to have saved 8 times your final salary by age 67 if you want to maintain a lifestyle similar to the one you had while working. AARP's own figure is 9 times, while some estimates say more like 12 times. If your final salary was $100,000, at 8 times, you'll need $800,000 in a nest egg. If you have a retirement shortfall, the challenge becomes how big and what can be done about it. And the time to address it is now, while there's still time to make adjustments. What are you doing to extract the greatest value from your retirement assets? And how about inflation, and how that could impact your nest egg? Have you addressed that? Inflation affects every retirement portfolio, and it's especially problematic for retirees on fixed income. The Wall Street Journal: low interest rates crack retirees' nest eggs. With inflation, your money's worth less each year. So how do you preserve your buying power for the next 30 years? It's a tall order, but it can be accomplished. Withdrawal rate risk is another challenge retirees face. Most have no idea how dangerous it is to withdraw too much from their nest egg each year. Do you know what the appropriate spending rate from your nest egg is, so you don't run out of money? The Wall Street Journal said that a 2% withdrawal rate's bulletproof. 3% is considered safe. 4%, you're pushing it. And with 5% or more, you risk running out of money, especially if you live into your 90s. Have you ever tried to calculate how long your money would last if you were to stop working today? Have you ever thought about making your money go further by controlling risks, costly fees, and income taxes throughout your retirement? And how about Social Security? Do you know the optimum age for you to retire to maximize your benefits? It's not as simple as you think. Someone earning $50,000 retiring at 62 today would receive about $1,000 a month. If they waited until 70, the benefit would almost double. Nevertheless, a startling 72% begin drawing benefits at age 62, the earliest year of eligibility. Each year you delay taking benefits beyond full retirement age, your Social Security benefit increases by 8% up to age 70. But each situation is unique and different. That's why we don't use a formula-driven approach, but rather a personalized approach that's built into our retirement income analysis. Understand the challenge with Social Security 10,000 baby boomers a day will stop working, stop contributing, and start taking money from the program. In 1945, there were 42 workers supporting each retiree. In 1950, there were 16.5 workers for each retiree. Today, it's down to 2.8 to 1, and by 2030, 2 to 1. This explains why your Social Security is less certain than in the past. Social Security today is no longer a self-sustaining enterprise. For the second straight year, Social Security paid out more than it took in, and that gap's expected to grow as more baby boomers retire. Social Security is already having to accommodate an unprecedented and overwhelming number of healthy, longer-living retirees. You may be able to count on a check, but will it be enough? You're being forced to assume more and more responsibility for your retirement. That explains why 81% of retirees felt a detailed retirement income plan is very important, yet only 18% actually had one. Whether your retirement is just around the corner, a few years in the future, or you're already retired, the benefits of having us create a retirement income analysis for you are substantial. Here's the 6-step process we'll go through in creating your retirement income analysis. Step 1. We'll ask you to articulate the retirement you've always envisioned, sharing your hopes, dreams, and goals. What does it look like? What are you doing? Where are you doing it? And who are you doing it with? Does the retirement you envision include any of these? Step 2. We will help you to inventory all of your assets, savings, and investments. In order to create a sustainable retirement income plan, we'll help you understand your assets such as these. Step 3. We'll calculate and help you to see what your expenses in retirement will be. Some expenses will increase in retirement, while others may decrease, but we'll bring these into focus for you. Step 4. We'll bring your income from all sources in retirement together for a clear retirement income picture. In retirement, you're likely to have a patchwork quilt of several sources of income from areas such as these. Step 5. The previous 4 steps will help us to determine in Step 5 if you have a projected retirement surplus or a shortfall. After knowing what you envision your retirement to be, looking at your assets, savings, and investments, having calculated your income in retirement less your estimated expenses, we'll be able to tell you if you'll have a retirement shortfall, and if so, how big. And Step 6. If there is a shortfall, we may be able to identify various options available to lessen your shortfall, and we'll explain the associated trade-offs with each one. Would you benefit from having us create a retirement income analysis for you? It's the easiest way for you to know with confidence if your retirement income plan is sustainable. This is our mission and how we see our role as advisors. Just think about this. You're going to be retired for 20, 30, even as long as 40 years. Don't you think it makes sense to spend a few minutes now to get a handle on your retirement readiness so you can retire with confidence? We do. With our retirement income analysis, there is no cost and no obligation. Given that, wouldn't you agree that you have nothing to lose, but quite possibly much to gain? In closing, we value your opinion, and in just a moment, we'd love to have you tell us how you've enjoyed this seminar. Then, you'll be given an opportunity to receive a no-cost, no-obligation retirement income analysis created just for you. And if you've enjoyed the seminar, you'll be given a chance to share it with your friends. As our way to say thanks for watching, we'd like to send you this very informative free bonus gift to jumpstart your retirement readiness. And now it's your turn. We'd love to hear your thoughts.